Hey there, welcome back to my Honkai Star Rail Companion Mission video. Yunli's Companion Story, Part 1. Alright, let's do Yunli's Companion Story. Swords to Plowshares? Is that how you pronounce it? Alright, let's go.
This haven of memories. Every touch, every moment is like a thorned rose.
You say you like me?
Ever since March started learning swordplay from Yancheng and Yunli, her voice has been absent on the Express. I wonder how well she's progressing. Where has she been these days?
Let's see, have you seen much? She didn't turn out for practice. Why don't you just message her? She's not replying to my messages. If I can't find much, then I can only seek out her legal guardian, which is you. No use talking to her legal guardians, technically. We are not, but yeah. If the kid won't perform, seeking out, going out won't help, won't do anything either, sorry. Besides, when has March ever listened to me? Indeed, Grandpa would usually throw out all the complainers. I was ordered to instruct her in the ways of the sword. She can skip this class, but I can't skip my duty. We need to talk about your child's behavior, Diana. How about this? You come find me at Alum Alley. I will wait for you. Right. Okay. Time to go to the Alum Alley. Let's go.
I was looking around before you got here. I already looked everywhere, but March 7th is nowhere to be found.
Maybe March is actually...
Forget it. Let's just assume she successfully skipped class. Actually, she's been quite diligent in her swordplay practice and hasn't taken many breaks lately. I think she deserves a day off. Besides, I used to skip classes even more than her back when I was still learning. If I was in the mood, I could train for 3 days straight. But if I wasn't in the mood, none of my seniors could find me. So, I can understand where she's coming from.
So then, can I go back?
No need. I asked you to come, so I won't send you away empty-handed. Since you're here, let me treat you to some tasty food. I'm more interested in you today.
Okay, let me be clear. I'm not learning swordplay from you.
Let's walk and talk. Lingsha told me there's tasty food in Arum Alley. Let's go there.
Dumplings and steamed buns. The buns are huge.
A table for two, please.
All right, come on in. What would you like?
Well, we'll have one of everything on the menu.
The entire menu?
Do you think it'll be enough?
She's worried we won't be able to finish it all.
Oh, don't worry. There are two of us.
Well, then I'll start making a few dishes, and if you need more, just let me know.
Thank you.
Do you usually eat a lot?
Yeah. I mean, Not too much, actually. Grandpa said to never be stingy when it comes to making friends. So, how big is your appetite?
My stomach is a bottomless pit. Okay, sure.
Ah, then eat to your heart's content.
Right, are you sure we don't need to look for much?
No, I've thought about it. She deserves a day off.
Did you just say you're interested in me?
Well, to be more precise, I'm interested in your sword. Yanqing mentioned you before. He said that you're not to be underestimated, and that your weapon has a unique shape. So, I've always been curious about your sword. How the weight is distributed, what material it's made of, whether it contains any special ingenia, and what kind of sword techniques you use.
Alright, it's not anything special. Are you talking about the bat or the... which one? The bat.
So, it really is a baseball bat. Grandpa said that a sword doesn't have to be constrained by its shape, so, in a sense, your bat is a sword too. He also said that a weapon mimics its master, so your bat actually reflects your habits and nature, you know? Let me guess. You're someone who doesn't follow the rules, enjoys improvising, and can handle yourself well against tough foes. Am I right?
Oh, you're mistaken. I always follow the rules. Yeah, you're damn right. Okay, have you been secretly filming me?
Amazing, right? And I bet you always say something silly like, rules are made to be broken. I've come across so many sword wielders who acted all righteous and moral, but were really just liars. Their swords always told the truth, though. They told me that their wielders were just a bunch of frauds who relied on their divine weapons for everything. I've hunted down hundreds of swords like this so far, and every single one of them has been melted down.
But what if you make a mistake?
Swords are more honest than words. It's much easier to judge a sword than to judge someone's words. So I rarely make mistakes. But just looking at a sword is not enough. Grandpa always says, words and expressions can be deceiving, but in a fight to the death, a sword's movements never lie. The war dance is just around the corner. You'll be participating, right?
Miss Yunli, for talented sword masters like you, the war dance is a perfect opportunity to show off your skills and make a name for yourself. But for people like her who have already made significant contributions to the Xianzhou, they maybe don't need to prove themselves on the war dance stage. It has been a while, Miss Nameless.
And you are?
This is Madam Yukong's secretary.
Thank you for your introduction, Miss Nameless. I'm Shi Kui, and I work in the Palace of Astrum as the secretary for the Helmmaster. I apologize for interrupting your conversation. I happened to hear you discussing the war dance. And since this person is an old acquaintance, I thought I'd come and say hello.
Are you hosting any guests?
Yes, with the war dance approaching, many guests from afar are pouring in. Mr. Pavo here is one of them. He's from the distant planet Kalevala. Mr. Pavo's planet recently joined the Pan-Cosmic Trade System. He brought his delegation here this time, not only for business, but also to return something that belongs to the Xianzhou.
Miss Shikui, the word gift is perhaps more fitting than return. While it did once belong to the Xianzhou, we faced many tribulations to be able to deliver it here, so it should be considered a gift.
apologize for my poor choice of words. Mr. Pavo's delegation brought a legendary Xianzhou sword that had been lost for centuries. General Huayan plans to personally thank them at the Palace of Astrum and present the sword as a prize to the champion of the war dance. Mr. Pavo and I were actually on our way there. Since you two were talking so enthusiastically about the war dance, maybe you'd be interested in joining us at the Palace of Astrum?
Alright, I see. Optional talk to Pavo. Alright, let's talk to this guy then.
Nice to meet you both. The journey to the Xianzhou Laofu wasn't an easy one, but the scenery here is worth it. It's completely different from my homeland. Once the formalities at the Palace of Astrum are finished, I'll find a quiet spot on this street and plant a seedling, and then my mission will be complete. The Sword of Heroes will finally be returned to its rightful owners. I couldn't be happier.
Let's talk about Kalevala. I don't know how to pronounce the word, sorry.
Oh, you're interested in my home planet? That's great. Your Excellency is welcome to visit us at any time. Even though the trade route just opened, it still might take around 200 system hours to get there from Pier Point. But our planet is really great. Yeah, sure, it's a bit cold and the food is a bit repetitive and our houses aren't as fancy as those on Pier Point, but that doesn't matter. We've discovered massive supernium deposits, and we're on the path to prosperity.
Okay, let's talk about the sword.
Oh, you mean the Mieka Kivesa? It's an incredible sword. That weapon helped the legendary heroes of my homeland slay demons, and is highly revered. It also has the power to choose monarchs. All the ancient kings of Kalevala received a sign from the sword, showing they were worthy to rule the land. According to tradition, each monarch would plunge the sword into a stone, and only a hero recognized by the sword could pull it out and ascend to the throne next.
That sounds oddly like, is this some sort of biometric technology? The sword actually appoint worthy monarchs? This sword
Well,
sounds
those are just legends from the
familiar,
past. No one today has witnessed it firsthand.
Okay, I see. Why don't you keep the sword for yourselves?
Well, times have changed, and now that we have a council in place, the idea of a sword crowning a king has become a joke. Besides, it wasn't a native of Kalevala who last pulled out the sword and recognized its connection to the Xianzhou ship. It was a visitor from afar. While the sword holds great historical significance for Kalevala, it doesn't truly belong to our world. The old-timers on council had a heated debate about whether to return the sword. They eventually unanimously agreed to let the Mieka Kivesa return to where it truly belongs. That's the best possible outcome.
Alright, I'm going to witness its return
Wonderful.
too.
It's an honor to have so many people witness the sword's homecoming.
Let's head to the Palace of Astrum together.
Alright, I love to take a look at that sword too.
I know, right? Thanks to March 7th skipping class, we get to join in on the fun. Grandpa always asks me to go look at swords with him, but he hasn't said anything about this one. It's really weird. But now that we're invited, let's go and check it out.
This haven of memories. Every touch, every moment.
There you are. Come on, let's go to the ceremony together.
Please allow me to offer a sincere compliment, my fair lady. Your beauty is as pure as a snow-white iris. Well, if it isn't my dear friend! Glad to meet you again.
Who is this weirdo? Who is this knight?
I am Argenti, a member of the Knights of Beauty. I was invited as a part of the Kalevala delegation to escort the legendary Mieka Kivesa back to the Cienjo. May I have the honor of knowing your name?
My name is Yunli.
What a beautiful name! I wonder if you have ever heard the holy name of the pure and flawless goddess Adrilla.
Oh, you're here, Yunli. Didn't expect you to be so well informed. Well, now that you're here, don't forget your manners.
Manners. Come on. You won't find another granddaughter as polite and well-behaved as me.
Well, just remember this is a very serious ceremony. Sorry for keeping you waiting, Mr. Pavo. Now, let the sword gifting ceremony begin.
Before the ceremony officially commences, I want to express my gratitude to the Knight Argenti. Thank you for enlightening us about the sword's origin and for escorting it here safely so that we may complete this ceremony. On behalf of the Kalevalan delegation, I, Pavel Kalistaya, am here to return the legendary Mieka Kivesa to the Cienjo Alliance, its rightful homeland.
I'm truly grateful for Kalevala's noble act of returning the sword and for the Knight of Beauty's chivalry. Now, as we gather here on the Cienjo Lafu, I officially welcome the sword back to its homeland.
Alright, let's see.
Mieka Kivesa. It's a fitting name for a sword with such a legendary past. I still remember the name engraved on this sword the day it was forged. Guyin. It was forged by Hangguang, a craftsman from the Zhu Ming's Pyrojaya Forge.
Wait. Hangguang?
Although its blade is worn and cracked, its essence remains as resilient as the Cienjo Cloud Knights. All it needs is some repairs and polishing by the skilled craftsmen of the Artisanship Commission to regain its former glory. I've decided to entrust this sword, Guyin, to the Laofu Artisanship Commission for restoration. Furthermore, it will serve as the prize for the champion of the Laofu War Dance. This sword will be wielded against abominations to protect our homeland and live up to the mission of the Kalevalan delegation that returned it from so far away.
Thank you, General. It is an honor for Kalevala.
Now, esteemed knight and delegation members, please head to the Artisanship Commission, where...
No! This sword was forged by Hangguang.
Yunli! These esteemed guests have brought back your father's last work. Where are your manners?
Oh, I didn't realize this sword was actually forged by your father. Returning it to its rightful owner is,
Grandpa, give me that cursed sword right now. I'll melt away the remnants of that man's curse once and for all.
Maybe I shouldn't react? A curse sword, calm down. Should I interject? Alright, let's calm down.
Don't be rude, Yunli. Apologize to our esteemed guests from afar.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for making a scene. But I have to melt down this cursed sword. I won't let it fall into anyone else's hands.
Yunli, please, go for now. This is exactly why I didn't want Yunli to know about this. I didn't want to create trouble, but trouble found its way here anyway. Perhaps it really is divine intervention. Could you, please, keep an eye on Yunli for me?
Let's see, General, is it really my place to get involved in your family matters?
Don't worry about it. I need your help on this. I apologize for the unfortunate interruption. Let us move on with the ceremony.
Unless I'm mistaken, Yunli should be around here somewhere.
Alright, observe a little bit now.
Stop watching me and say something.
Poor thing, are you crying? Okay, what's wrong?
Did Grandpa send you to look for me? I bet he did.
Actually, I'm here because I care about you.
Really?
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Thank you. Just so you know, I'm here just waiting for the perfect moment to snatch that sword. And once I have it, I'll melt it down before anyone can react. Don't even think about stopping me. No one can stop me.
No one can help you if you don't explain what's going on.
Grandpa sent you here. Surely he doesn't want you to help me. Have you heard of cursed swords? That sword is one.
So it's like a secret sword, but it's been corrupted?
You've clearly heard a lot of folk tales. But that's not the kind of cursed sword I'm talking about. A cursed sword lets anyone, even a complete novice, wield it with insane skill. Just by holding the hilt, even the weakest rookie can brandish it with incredible speed and strength.
So where can I be one? Okay. With something like that, much could graduate in just in one day.
I'm not joking around. And I'm not making up some crazy story. While a cursed sword grants instant abilities to its wielder, it comes at a cost. It's like continuously adding fuel to the forge. With each swing, the sword drains the wielder's blood and essence. Day by day, the fuel will run out, leaving nothing but an empty husk. Soon enough, it will no longer be a person wielding a sword, but a mindless, killing machine, consumed by bloodlust and murderous thoughts.
Yeah, this sounds oddly familiar. So it's like being possessed by Helios.
Oh, so you're familiar with Heliobi. That makes this much easier to explain. There was a lunatic swordsmith who infused metal blades with Heliobi, as he was obsessed with turning weapons into living things. And this is how cursed swords were made.
So your father sealed a Heliobi in the sword?
I know. I shouldn't have caused a scene at the sword gifting ceremony. But I've thought this through. If I don't make a fuss now, that cursed sword will cause a whole lot more trouble. So it's better if it's me causing the trouble. By the way, aren't they supposed to be taking the sword to the Artisanship Commission for repairs? Why haven't they come out yet? Any ideas?
I don't know, maybe there are other ways out of the Palace of Esrum?
Looks like they're not going to show up here. I'll just head straight to the Artisanship Commission. It doesn't matter why Grandpa chose that sword. I won't let it fall into anyone else's hands. I'll track down every single sword he forged and melt them down one after another. Just like I've been doing all these years. I have to go now.
Is she planning to sneak into the Artisanship Commission and steal that sword? Maybe I should keep an eye on her. The Artisanship Commission is so big. Where could she be?
Quality, good price, hassle-free chartering, high-end bars.
Just a while ago, a girl came up to me, all fierce and demanding directions. She said she's a member of the Artisanship Commission. Do you know her?
No idea who she is. If she really works here, how can she not know her way around?
Yeah, I know her. She's from the Xianzhou Artisanship Commission.
Oh, I see. That explains it then.
Explains what? It explains nothing at all.
She said something like, I'm a member of the Artisanship Commission. Where do you keep your precious stuff? I got scared and pointed her toward Master Gongshu's warehouse, where he stores his arumatons.
Wait, why did you give her directions? What if she's planning to steal something?
Alright, let's cut to the chase. Where did she go?
Where else? Like I said, she was headed straight for the warehouse, where all the valuable arumatons are.
Yeah, that place is filled with Master Gongshu's precious arumatons. I bet they'll give her a hard time.
I doubt so. Right. Nope, I can't use this. Okay, is there a teleport point there? Thank goodness there is.
What are you doing here? Look, if I get into trouble, it's my problem. I don't want to drag you into it.
Well, I promised your grandpa that I keep an eye on you.
Fine. Let's smash these metal cans first. Then we can talk.
Of course, I have to get dragged into this combat.
This is where it ends. On the still waters of oblivion.
Existence is unity. Every petal, all will be swept away by the wind.
Get them!
Lance at the ready. I weep for the departed. It too shall fall. Destined for oblivion.
There's more to... So this is the warmth of life.
Again. On the still waters of oblivion.
It's time.
Destined for oblivion.
I'm on guard. Lance ablaze. Lance forward.
free on the still waters of oblivion.
That was the last of them. Thank you for helping me out. This place is heavily guarded, but there's nothing but arumatons. Where is the arsenal? Seems like not even those craftsmen know where the arsenal is. At this rate, we won't find anything. And Grandpa might take me away before I can do anything. You're not really here to help me. You're here to stop me, right?
You know, this cursed sword isn't just your problem.
No, it's not. Grandpa made a promise to the delegation, and going back on his word would tarnish his reputation and make things difficult for the Luofu. But leaving that cursed sword here will also make things difficult for the Luofu. So all things considered, the best outcome is for me to melt that sword down and take all the blame. You probably think I'm being impulsive and unreasonable, right?
So you are self-aware after all.
Hey! I'm not always like this. It's all because of that cursed sword.
Why don't you just tell me everything?
Look. I owe you an explanation. But this isn't the best place to talk. We need to find somewhere else. Let me be clear, though. I'm still pretty riled up. This is just a temporary break. I already told you about Guyan. The sword that was returned during the ceremony. It's a cursed sword, with a heliobus inside. And Hongguang, the swordsmith who forged it, is my father. I rarely mention his name to anyone other than Grandpa. Maybe, like you said, I've been avoiding having to talk about him. But as long as my mission to hunt down cursed swords continues, it's impossible to avoid the topic forever. For some reason, I feel like I can open up to you. Honestly, I don't remember much about him. All I know is that the Pyrogyre Forge used to be a bustling place, with people from all over coming to get one of his swords. They called him the greatest master craftsman since Yingxing. I didn't catch all the details, but I do remember seeing him forge those amazing swords, while the visitors watched with smiles on their faces. I used to believe that craftsmen brought happiness to others. The swords crafted by the Pyrogyre Forge are famed across the stars. They possess exceptional sharpness and invincibility. With these legendary weapons, even ordinary people can become skilled warriors, capable of overcoming the most formidable opponents. But then, he became obsessed with becoming a famed swordsmith, and started crossing all sorts of lines. He forged cursed swords that should never exist. And all those people who desired those twisted swords started flooding into the palace. However, just like Grandpa said, those who excel with the sword will eventually suffer by it. The palace was overrun with visitors from afar. Some left empty-handed, Others got swords that didn't fulfill their desires. And some even resorted to stealing. And in the midst of all the chaos my father created, he ended up being stabbed by one of the swords he forged. It was so sudden and unexpected. Everything went silent for a moment. All I could hear was the sound of bones breaking and blood pouring out. I was frozen in place, unable to move. It was only when my mother pushed me away from the deadly swing of the cursed sword that I managed to escape. I don't remember much after that, except for the pounding of my heart and the sound of my own gasps of breath. I could hear the smiths in the Pyrogyre forge shouting, "Run away, Yunli!" And the screams of agony. My tears wouldn't stop. And I couldn't see anything. I kept gasping for air until I collapsed in a pool of blood. If General Huayan hadn't arrived in time, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you now. After that, General Huayan took me in and treated me like his own granddaughter. To me, he is 100 times better than my sinful father. He taught me forging and swordsmanship. Han Guang paid for his sins, but his troubled legacy must not go unchecked. According to the records, he forged a total of 1,382 Heliobus cursed swords, and 182 of them had unique designs. When I joined the Pyrogyre Forge for training, I made a vow to hunt down all those cursed swords. So far, I found 312 of them, and Guyan will be my 313th. Like all the other cursed swords, I'll separate it from the Heliobus. Then, I'll melt it down and make it part of the Blade of Forged Remnants. I've said my piece now. Even though it'll be tough for Grandpa, I still have to melt down the sword.
But the delegation calls it the Sword of Heroes.
Those travelers who came seeking Han Guang's swords all came in the name of justice and honor. Most of those so-called great heroes were heartless killers. They are only called heroes because they won. Many of the cursed swords I've destroyed had honorable and grand names, too. A legendary sword and a butcher's knife are often just different ways of describing the same thing. Somehow, after talking to you, I feel like I've cooled off a bit. Well, I'll have an honest conversation with Grandpa tomorrow. And I won't take any action against Guyan until he gives me his reasons.
Alright, don't forget to apologize.
I shouldn't have done that in a public place. Anyway, thank you. We'll catch up tomorrow.
I should go back to the Palace of Astrum and tell General Huayan what happened at the Artisanship Commission.
Alright y'all, thanks for watching this part of the video and have a great day.
Hey there, thanks for watching. And have a great day!